Okay. All right. Hello, amused. Hello, hello. Hello, hello, hello. Test 1, 2. Can you hear me? Crispy, we're doing a lesson and then we'll be doing reviews. I'll keep you in the queue though if you stick around. Oh, you can hear me. Are you going to be typing or are you working on getting a mic? Or am I supposed to be able to hear you? Okay, no worries, no rush. Just some technical difficulties. We will be starting in just a minute. And welcome everyone. Hopefully my audio is good. It looks like it's a little loud, so I'll turn it down just a little bit. Let me know if my audio is too loud. Ooh, fun! Hope you have a blast. I don't know why, but I want to read your name as Cactus, even though it's calculus. But my brain keeps translating into cactus, and I can't fathom why, because there's not even an A in there. Mm, that's funny. Are you cuculus for Cocoa Puffs? I don't know if you know that commercial. It's cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. It's a cereal commercial. Hello.
Can you hear me now?
Yep, I can hear you.
Okay. I was constantly reconnecting and disconnecting from because of this VPN at work.
Yeah, how dare you be safe and secure? Okay. Did you do the Go problem homework?
Yeah, and then I keep doing a random set of 100.
Okay, that's good. Okay. Um, where are we at right now? 12Q.
11Q again.
Low_ just followed.
Looks like your win-loss rate is pretty good. Only one game above 35. So your game looks pretty stable, according to the
Yeah.
results. Okay, so let's see how you're doing against 10Qs. That's something.
Review started.
All right, can you see my screen okay?
Yep.
Alrighty. Oh, turn off the AI. So why cross?
I didn't want my Shamaris facing each other.
You mean like this?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Okay, everything looks good so far. I would say go ahead and get here and then deal with the top left. Getting this extension from the Shmari is really, really big.
Yeah.
So I think you went one step too soon. Okay. Do you need this?
Not really.
I think if I was going to fix the cut, I would go here. Because I can attack this stone. I don't think you need it. Just go here and start surrounding. I think it's okay. Ooh. Oh, you missed it. Your opponent ignored you. Push and cut.
Yep.
Okay, so this one is probably responding too fast. Profit is good. Try to get the profit on the fourth line if possible. Here, though, I think Peep and then Nobi is probably what I would be looking for. Try to surround. Okay, so this is a little bit of a problem, is you're not following up your moves. Here you peeped, they ignored, you didn't follow it up. Here you attacked, they ignored, and you didn't follow it up. So you got to follow up your moves. I think that's going to be one of the big keys here. Because if they don't respond to you... Yep.
Part of the problem is not finding a good attack move, I guess, is
well,
to follow up with.
That means you're attacking without thinking of the follow-up. So this one, you probably played because of shape, but you didn't really think about the follow-up. Okay. So if you could have 2 moves in a row right now, where would you want them?
Probably on the right somewhere, and
Slav Zero had just
extension
followed.
and some
Okay,
sort of
that sounds
attack for
like
my
2 moves in a row for attacking. How if you wanted 2 moves in a row against this group, where would they be?
Probably a capping move.
And what else?
Something to help the stick so it has somewhere to keep running.
So these 2 moves are for the stick. Here's the capping moves. Here's the shoulder hit. All right, so we want 2 of these. I want to say that one and maybe that one have the best relationship. Would you agree?
Yep.
Okay. So if I go here, they go there, then I'm going to follow up here. If you think about if I want 2 moves in a row, then you can start thinking about the follow-up more. If they don't respond, you need to punish. If you cannot punish, that means your attack was not severe enough. So they should not be able to ignore your attacks without consequence. Okay. Not time for this yet. I think you're underestimating the right side.
Yep.
Okay, you're following your opponent again. You're supposed to punish by surrounding the stone. Right side, you could attack with the pincer, but this is not bad because you're also attacking the center. It is Nobi and then jump to the center, typically. That's overplay. Just surround. Okay, up to here, the feeling I get is you keep playing shape for shape's sake, but you're not really like following through with anything. You're kind of like following your opponent on the board and you're just playing a bunch of shape looking moves, but you're not really thinking about like the goal of the turn as much. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So if we don't even worry about shape, and we come up with a plan, I would say Clossius approaching it, there's a weak group, we can play on that. Okay, we can jump. I mean, that's good enough to get us a single digit Q. Just make sure our moves do something. If we're looking at the aggressive stuff that we were, that the latest Clossius approach video was on about, push and cut, it's a cutting point. Yeah, this is just overplay. This is not accepting a mistake. Just move on. It's a mistake. Just move on. I want to say you could solve this, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, so this one is a mental mistake more than a skill mistake. Okay, fix the cutting point. Fix, 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 fix. Locally, this is good. But you have a weak group. What? Okay, cool. Cool, yeah, punish. Okay. Just fix the cutting point or block and fix the cutting point. So I don't think you've Tanuki'd one time in this game. I don't think you've ignored your opponent even once. Okay. I think you finally Tanuki'd. So I want to say your shapes are all fine and solid. You just gotta make plans.
Yep.
Which is usually the opposite, because typically people will try to make plans and then they like do horrible shape to accomplish them and they die. So the good news is your movement is fine. You just gotta come up with something and then move in the right direction. This one is small. This one you can block as long as that stone's captured. Okay. So it's a new shape. You're following the opponent. This one looks like you played without reading the cutting point, so this one's playing too fast. Just here. Okay. Okay, yeah, your shape's good. Your shape's fine. You just keep following your opponent. This one is small. 3-3. Cause trouble.
That's too late.
Yeah. It's too late now, but I guess you can be scary, but you got to move out of it. You didn't even have to do anything. You got to move out of it. What? Hold on. This told me that you knew the Tsuji. Your opponent fell for it, but you didn't activate the Tsuji.
Yeah, I playing too fast and not thinking about it.
Yeah, let's see. I'm gonna go like to my little report card. This is Spider Stone. .3 seconds a move. Holy crap, that is fast. All right, well, there's your number one issue right there.
Yep, as always.
So, I guess the question becomes, are you patient enough to get single-digit Q? Like, are you willing to be patient to get to single-digit Q? So all you have to do is just take your... all you have to do is just take your time, I think. And it doesn't seem like you can't be single-digit Q. Like, you're pretty solid game. But you are following your opponent everywhere. And a lot of these instant responses are just missing chances. So that's definitely going to be our first note, is you played 3.3 seconds average moves. This is far too fast. You want it to be like 12 seconds plus. So you are going probably 4 times as fast as you should be. I think that's going to be the big issue. And this move is kind of telling for that, right? I think you could probably see this pretty quickly.
I see it. It's just in the heat of the moment. And
yeah. Wait. I didn't even like process that they ignored this. Hold on. When did this happen? I somehow assumed that they live because I read it, saw it as live, and now I stopped reading it. So if you go right here, they take, and you go right here, the entire group's dead, you win the game.
Yep.
Thing is, you played here, they ignored you with the move that wasn't even Sente, but you responded and missed the game-winning chance.
Yep.
So...
And then it stayed there for quite some time.
Well, clearly, because you still could have killed it later, and I was like, wait a second, how did that get there? Yeah, I guess this must be the AI spikes everywhere. What if you just played a game with the specific intention of ignoring your opponent? Like, you just focus on that for like 5 games in a row.
Yeah.
I feel like that could really help. Because I don't really see any major like strategy flaws or shape flaws. All I see is you're just following your opponent everywhere. There's a couple small things, but it looks like your shape and reading is just better than your opponent's. You just got to slow down. Oh man, this is a big mischance. Did you read that cutting point?
No, and
read it now. Does it work?
It doesn't.
The cut doesn't work, or your move doesn't work?
The cutting point doesn't work.
Okay. So I play here. What is your response?
Atari from E6 or F16 now should have been what I should have done.
Oh, so the cutting point does work for white.
Yep.
Okay. Yep. Let's go here. Because it is not a nut or a ladder. This is denial. I would say this is...
Yeah, what was that denial at the time?
This right here and this right here is going to be the big, or the second mental mistake. So one is just playing far too fast, which is probably why you can't, you can't even like see the result in 3 seconds. So of course you're going to be in denial because you haven't seen it yet. You're like, no, I don't want this to happen. Click, 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 click. And then you're like, wait, now bad things are happening. So this is probably along the lines of speed as well. But depending on how much you let this affect you, it can be a habit that's very difficult to break because it's really hard to accept mistakes for a lot of people. So this is a common mental growth that Go forces us to deal with. It's one of those like life lessons. Go is like, you're going to learn this. If you want to improve, you're going to learn this. How to accept that you've made a mistake, take a breath, and move on, right? It's really hard for a lot of people, but this is expensive in Go. So it's very expensive to not accept a mistake. But once you accept it's a mistake, it's actually not that big of a deal. What makes the mistake so detrimental is not keep playing on it, which doubles the value, and then your brain over-exaggerating it in your head, which quadruples the value. So a lot of the times, this is all your brain making like this look a lot bigger of it is, and you're like, I don't want this to happen. But the reality is you're dead, so you just have to like accept it and move on. Especially here, I think you should realize. But I think if you're playing like 1 second a move, then of course. Yeah. This is just not reading. Okay. If you want to play fix, so that way you can either get a Sente move or you get Sente now. So if they take it, then you get Sente now. And if they don't, then you'll get the Hane. So that's how you play here. Rather than both fix, you want to have your option for Sente. Okay. This one's not bad. I really want to get this move, though. This is a really big one. Also, this one's kind of big. Yeah, I want to say everything else is pretty okay. So there's just two self-discipline things that I think are holding you back. Other than like everything else looks too fast. You're not Atari yet. Everything else is looking like 90% of your game or 95% of your game is pretty good for double digit Q. So I don't really see a reason strategy-wise that you can't pull single-digit Q because your game's consistent according
Well,
to.
I was single-digit
Right.
Q, and then I dropped after not playing for a month and a half, and
Your game's really solid. I don't think there's any strategy thing until you get to 9Q, probably. So I want you to play a game, and I'm going to yell at you to slow down until you slow down. So let's play a game, and then we're going to try to take it slow and tanuki as much as we can. I think these two things are going to be your biggest things to help you.
so what time settings do you want?
Just 5 minutes. We don't want to take too long because otherwise it'll take up the whole lesson. Let's do 5 minutes, 3:30s.
And we don't want ranked.
Time to start the Clossius sandbagging course.
All right, there's game.
Okay. So I just want you to focus on doing what you want to do and don't worry about your opponent. I want you to come up with a plan and try to get that plan as much as possible. So open corners, open sides, follow up your attacks. You could just do whatever you normally do. Just don't let your opponent distract you. It's kind of the big key. Your opponent will lie to you. Your opponent lies a lot. They say, hey, this over here is the big thing and you need to respond to me. But they're a liar. Okay, defense first. I immediately see a cutting point, but let's get strong before we attack it. Do you notice the cutting point? Oh, here's another cut.
Yep.
Okay. Cut to pieces. Pretend they're a Christmas present and you're just ripping the gift wrap off to get to your present. Just cut it and rip the whole package apart. Don't overthink this one. Don't be complicated with cutting points. Just fix your cut. You don't need all the fancy AI stuff. Just don't die. Cut, 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 cut. Keep our opponent cut, and we win. And just surround. Don't get greedy for the kill. Don't even try to think about killing. Just surround the group and let them worry about it. You just watch your cutting points, surround the group. It is their job to live, not yours. I think I am overestimating 9Qs. Just keep surrounding. Keep surrounding. I thought a 9Q would know the life and death, but maybe not. Dude, I don't know how strong 9Qs are. I can't, wrap my head around it. Do you think it's alive? Now, here's a good question, because you have no issues, right?
I don't really have an issue at the moment, yep.
So, if you block, is it Sente, yes or no?
It is not Sente.
Tanuki. All right, what do you want to do? Remember that knight's move? That beautiful cutting point? What the fuck?
That was a misclick.
Undo requested. Undo
I
granted.
hate playing with touchpad so much.
Oh my gosh, no! No! Tell me it's not so! She probably say thank you in the chat. It's because not a lot of people will accept undos, so it's good to like give feedback to the ones that actually accept it and be nice. You know, the decent human beings. Oh my god, turn submit move on. That'll definitely slow you down for 3 seconds of move. If you have to go click submit move every single time.
Yeah.
Dude, I would not play with a touchpad.
I used to play with it on, and
I would just turn it on. It's not worth the misclick. And it also will force you to slow down more, so it might literally help you improve. Don't overthink, just cut them to pieces. A couple ideas here. Let's focus on defense first because you do have a cutting point. Let's defense and then cut them. Defense, cut. Defense, cut. So don't attack with cutting points. That's a little bit of a red flag. Touch Nobi. Defense first. Don't die. Slow down. This is game deciding points. Okay. If you block, there's a cutting point, yeah?
yep.
Okay. Can you capture it in a nut or a ladder?
Want to say it's a possible net, but
No, you need to know. For like dying groups, you need to know the answer. If it's a maybe or a no, then you need to just focus on living. But if you can, do it. Obviously, it's better to capture the cutting stone if you can. But it needs to be 100% if you're going to die. Save the cutting stones. Morgadal says they're spending less than 2 seconds per move. Oh my gosh. Okay, make your base. Don't die. That's not a ladder. It is a net technically, but I don't think a 9Q will know that, right? Whatever. They die, they die. It's 4 stones. Who cares? See, they don't know the net. Try to keep your cutting stones alive, but also, if your group's going to die, just save the group. Cutting stones are not more important than the entire group. So this is going to be up to your reading and decision making. So make sure you are not rushing this go problem. I would say a common thing you should be thinking about is tiger's mouths. Not here, but on the last move, it was potentially a habit worth having. Nobi may or may not be better, but the tiger's mouth habit for eyes while fixing a cut is a good habit. All right, so this will be your life or death. Sack a period, give yourself 30, 40 seconds. So if you're in a game deciding moment, sacrifice a period to give yourself more time to read it out. It's a good habit. I love how much time people spend trying to kill you, but not nearly as much when they're trying to live. They spend 4 times the amount trying to kill you than they do trying to live. But living is how you lose the game, or like dying is how you lose the game. Killing may or may not win the game. So I feel like that should be the opposite.
Yeah.
Something about murder is just really fun.
Now the question is it worth
Living? Yes, it's worth living. Whatever you're thinking, it's worth living. Not dying is
Well,
really important.
I was just thinking of tarring that one stone before that move, but
This is a really cool series of moves. Yeah, that's pretty cool. It didn't technically work, but like it would be really hard to counter this. Was a really cool plan by White. Like they did some really good reading here. Okay, what's the verdict? Do you think you can make a second eye?
Huh?
Do you think you can make a second eye?
Possibly.
Where? That's an eye?
No, but I can
No.
make it
You're
up.
playing too fast now. You gotta like be realistic with the result. Can you make an eye? Yes or no?
No,
Okay. Can you connect? Yes or no?
not now. Maybe.
Well, I don't think that's a maybe. I don't know. Maybe it's a maybe. What about your opponent's cutting points? Can you break out through a cutting point?
Possibly.
Try it. But don't play without a plan. Like, playing on a dead group without a plan is just a way to make it much worse.
But I might damage my 5 stones. Alright.
All right, I think you're pretty dead. Let's try the life and death in the corner. It's the last thing to attempt. Can you kill the white group in the corner? I wonder if he's good at reading his own life and death as he is at yours. I saw that he has a tendency to, spend a lot of time trying to kill you, but he did not even check his own life and death, which is kind of funny. Oh man, what a corner. This is a crazy corner. So the moves to check here when you're trying to read are going to be the 1-2 points and the tiger's mouth points and the 1-point jump points. Does that
And
make
the vital
sense?
point. Yep.
For the vital points, yeah. And then you want to try to read 3 moves. It's probably impossible to read more than 3 correctly at this level, but if you can read 3 moves on each of the vital points, I think it'll give you a really good idea about what the most scary sequence is. Oh my gosh, you might win on time. That would be hilarious. Oh, they almost timed out. Oh, reading speed is a skill to build as well. All right, your turn. But guess what? You have 5 periods. Oh my gosh, this crazy
Black
corner.
wins.
Oh my gosh, what a quarter. Oh wow. They are the difference in reading between them killing and them living is crazy. Oh man, what a
Review
corner.
started.
Okay. Can you see the game?
Yep.
Okay. Wow, crazy. Okay. So this is definitely Sentai. Because if white ignores, Here, here, here looks like an eye, right? But I have a
Yeah.
connection. Okay. So they could die the whole time if they ignored. So this was definitely Sente. But so we're gonna put 50 corner life and death. Okay. Here you did have a double peep to worry about. So it's definitely interesting. Very exciting, but maybe a little much. This would have made it a lot easier because you didn't have an undercut base if you did that. But I didn't hate the idea. Right here, though, rather than turning, I would just fix.
Yeah.
I mean, it's connected. This is 100% not cuttable versus 80% not cuttable, right?
Yep.
When you want to just connect. It makes your game so much easier to play. Touch Nobi. Double peep was scary for sure. This was very difficult to read no matter who played it. This life and death problem, unfortunately, is quite difficult. But even then, you don't have enough liberties to pull it off.
Yep. That's kind of where I was getting to. I'm like, I don't think there's enough liberties for that.
And if you go here, I don't think... don't think anything works. So yeah, that was a little bit risky. You want easy nets and easy ladders. If it's not one of the easy ones, just focus on defense. Nobi is possible. I think I would rather go faster than one line at a time for a base, especially when you're undercut. Just make sure you're not cuttable. Now this one, there would be a ladder, so you can't do that. Oh, I guess this one as well, huh? Never mind, I'm wrong. You're right. What do I know? This would be still very nice to have. This would be very, very nice to have. And then I think you just Nobi. Yeah, makes life a little bit easier. This one, white does have a net right here, but this is not a 9 or 12Q net probably. I don't know. I don't know what 9Qs can read. Knight's move to get ahead is a movement that you want to learn. Pushing from behind is typically not good. Here, just run away. Get liberties. You could also run away this way. If you're going to run. Get liberties and run. This is fine. This is probably a better habit. I don't know if it's better life and death shape, but it's good to look for the tiger's mouth when you need eyes. Okay, now this is a crazy life and death problem. Technically speaking, just live. It's the easiest answer.
Yeah.
This one you need to capture, and then when they play, you can double Atari. But this is not an easy life and death problem. I think this is maybe 5Q plus. The fact that they even saw this much, like that was clearly what they were aiming for. They didn't check any of the counters, but they had a plan that technically was correct if you played it exactly how you played it. Here, the answer is to take again, to threaten the throw-in, and then you can escape right here. And if they try to do anything else, then you have the throw-in. But this is not an easy life and death problem, honestly. I think, I don't think you messed up the life and death here. I think this is just not your level. Overall, though, I think the shapes was really nice. With that being said, remember that like white could die in the quarter. So here, once you realize you're dead, we don't keep playing on it. Now we try to come up with a plan. Check the connection to Tsuji's, check the cutting points, check the life and death. There's no way for you to make an eye, so it has to be something else that gets activated. So either you connect to something that has eyes, you cut and escape through a cutting point, or you kill something that's killing you. If you can't do any of that, then just leave it alone. So you check the connection, didn't work. Check the cut, which was fine. Technically, the cut did not work, but it was fine to check. And then we checked life and death, and that did work. So very exciting corner. Very exciting corner. How did you feel about this game versus like normal? You did take your time a lot better. You never did sack a period though. I would have totally sacked a period on this life and death problem.
I probably should have. But it was definitely a lot easier. The more recent games I've been trying to push my time and reading more, but sometimes I don't have that luxury and just trying to play a game in 15 minutes. Just to play a game.
Don't make it ranked. If you have 15 minutes, that's not realistic for us for a thinking game. Like 13 by 13 you could probably play in 15 minutes, but 19 by 19 typically takes 30 minutes or more. Like, I think if you're playing quickly but still thinking, if it gets to the end of the game with end game and everything, then it's probably going to take 30 minutes or more. So it's just a good number to know. Not to say you can't play in 15 minutes. Maybe 1 minute games with, I don't know, 10 seconds. But even then, you would still have like 7 seconds average time, right? You wouldn't have 3 seconds average time. So if you're going to play 15 minutes, blitzing is fine, but maximize your overtime usage is still a good habit to build. So whenever I saw pros play blitz in Korea, it was fascinating because they would never, ever play on any number except for 9. It would count up to 9, they would play click. Count up to 9, they would play click. They would never play on 1 or 2, like almost ever. They would always be looking at something. They would always be reading something. And it was really funny because they would never time out either. No matter how much you counted to 9, they would never time out. They would always go to the last one and then play. They were like experts at that timing. So even if you play in 15 minutes and you have 1 minute and 10 seconds overtime, try to play like on 7. 9 is pushing it, especially with OGS sometimes lagging. So I would play on 7 or 8. But there's no reason to play on 1, 2, or 3. Even if it's an instant response, like let's say you do something and they peep, immediately you know what to do. But you can read the life and death for 9 seconds and then connect.
Yeah.
So there's many things you can do if you're like really strict with yourself. So try to set the time settings depending on how long you want the game to be played in, but you should use as much of the time you give yourself as possible. You should be very conscious of it. And then you should also be conscious of when you sack a period. You want to be strategic about it. I would say 1 minute games. I guess you can do ranked, because 1 minute game or 10 seconds is blitz? No, I think it's 9 seconds.
10 seconds is blitz.
That's so freaking dumb. I was going to say, because they're different ranks, I love how you're stronger at blitz than you are at life. Why is that true? But yeah, I would focus on these 2 numbers if you're going to blitz. That way it's different. That way when you're playing blitz, you have a different like pool of games that you're practicing versus your life. So I guess freaking 9 seconds a move, whatever. It's weird, but like it needs to be a different rank than this one. This one needs to measure your overall thinking performance. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay, so as long as they're separate, I think it's okay. So you can still play in 15 minutes. Just be conscious and smart about how you do it, and then just use the time. Even if it's 10 seconds, use the time. If you look into some Fisher math, I think Fisher time settings, you can guarantee a game finishes within a certain amount of time. I don't know how to do it, and I am very, very bad at Fisher time management because I just don't understand it. Because I spent 17 years learning how to deal with Byoyomi,
By all means.
so I have like less than a year of dealing with Fisher. So I'm like constantly on like time pressure because I don't know how to manage it properly. So I will say different time strategies for it, but if you wanted to look into that too, you can also do that. But yeah, I think just be smart about how you play, even for fun. Like be smart about it. Definitely though, for the live games, they don't need to be perfect, but they need to be decent. Like they need to be good. You need to not be playing 3 seconds a move. You don't have to play 20-minute games every single time. I think that's probably not realistic for fast improvement. It's fine to play 20-minute games for leagues, 20 plus to 40 plus or whatever for tournaments. But for your regular games, I think 5 minutes or 10 minutes is plenty, as long as you're maximizing your overtime usage. You want to be comfortable in overtime and you want to make sure you're using it. But if you hear the lady talk, you panic and throw the stone somewhere on the board, you don't know where you played, you just threw it. That is bad. So if you panic under time pressure, you just need to always put yourself under time pressure until you get used to it. So if you can't think under time pressure, then don't worry about go strategy. Just learn how to get comfortable under time pressure. This is something, I don't know if it applies to you specifically, but I know some people struggle with it. So I'm just giving you as much time management advice as I can.
Yeah. I'm horrible with time management sometimes.
Yeah, so I want to say that's going to be the big thing is slowing down. I will say let's do 50 net, 50 ladder because that never stops being true. And then we're also going to say playing a blitz when you do not have a lot of time is fine, as long as you are setting expected time settings and using your blitz rank instead of your live rank. You will still use all of your overtime regardless. 3.3 seconds is far too fast. Far too fast. I think the only time I've seen people get good at 1 or 2 second moves is when they're playing like 10 minutes absolute. Like there is no overtime. They're playing 10 minutes absolute, and they're like click, 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 click. And if you look at the game record of those games, they're literally like instant clicking regardless of what their opponent plays to make sure they don't die, and it can be some awful looking moves. So their moves are not good in any way whatsoever. They're just making sure their stones don't get captured, and their stone is played within 1 second. Like that is the strategy. So make sure your games don't look like that. If you're playing 3.3 seconds, you're getting close to that level of crazy. Because they played in like 1 second or 2 seconds average time, and they're just randomly clicking stones on the board, basically.
Yeah.
Questions? Anything I can elaborate on?
No. But if you want to keep continuing the lesson for another hour, we can. I don't care.
I do want to do some game reviews for people just to advertise the lesson bundle, and then I have lunch with my brother right after that.
Okay.
But I want you... Are you scheduled for next week?
No.
Okay, schedule one for next week, and I want you to play 10 games trying to take your time.
All right.
And then bring that to me next week so we can see how you're doing. Let me put a note of that. Play 10 games and bring them to me. Okay.
Is there any way to get lesson schedules on Saturday, since it's easier to do that than on...
Unfortunately, no, because that is when Kara makes $20 an hour instead of $12 an hour, and I have to help her do her job. So I have to support her most lucrative day. So I can't do lessons in the car. If I could do lessons in the car, I would. Holy crap. But like I can barely like read in the car and code in the car, and I'm fighting car sickness the entire time. And the noise would be horrible, and then the connection is horrible because if we get on a certain road in town, my internet dies, and I just wait for 5 minutes until she gets somewhere else so I can start coding again. So it is not the most fun things, but I do have to help her in order to do that. Otherwise, she won't make anything. So Saturdays are the most lucrative day, so that will definitely not be possible for lessons.
Yeah, it's just hard for me when I work
Mm-hmm.
in the western part of the United States and you're eastern. Because your time slots really don't work outside of 5 p.m. and
how late do my time slots go in your time?
usually 3.
And you get off work at 5?
Yep.
Okay. Let me see what my stuff looks like. Okay, so Friday. Oh, Thursday I go to 7, but that's exactly when you get off work, isn't it?
Yep. I mean, some days it can be earlier, but it's driving home and
All right, how do
or
Thursdays look for you?
Thursdays are pretty open until after for me.
Okay, I will open Thursdays until 9.
Okay.
But I believe it's still limited to
1 hour.
It's 3 hours per day. That way people can't just book me at very random times. I've had some weird stuff where I'll have like 2-hour gaps. It'll be a 2-hour lesson, 2 hours of nothing, 2 hours of lessons, and then on a very worst case scenario, it would be an hour of nothing and then another hour lesson, and I'll just be waiting like the entire day for lessons. So ideally they'd be back to back, but yeah. Also, if you do want them to be 2 hours, make sure you schedule like 2 1-hour slots. That way I
Yeah,
can
I
like
couldn't
plan my
do
day
that
around
this
it.
week,
Yeah, no
unfortunately,
worries,
because I
no
had.
worries. But I do plan like my day in advance, so that is why I can't just extend it upon request. But if you
Oh,
schedule
I
it,
know.
definitely it can. Okay,
I understand.
so next Thursday, I want to say there is 1 hour available. Let's see, that one's 1 hour, and that one is 1 hour. So yeah, 1 hour on Thursday next week is available. So let me know if that works for you.
Yep.
Okay, just schedule that and play 10 games, and I will see you next week.
All right.
Bye bye. Okay. Okay. All right. So I'm going to take a quick break, use the restroom, grab a water, and then I'll be come right back, and we'll do an hour of open reviews. Just join the queue with Clossy Coins, that gold coin in the bottom left corner. And if you're interested in lessons, I do teach code for a living. You can check them out here and get lessons like the one you just saw. Yeah, and with that, I will be right back. Okay. Crispy Toast, are you still here? Okay. We will start with yours.
Review started.
You know, if you'd stop wielding a flaming sword, maybe you wouldn't be so crispy. Da 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 da. This is fine. You could also just pincer immediately. Punish. Okay. Now there's 2 punishments on the board. If you know that white is supposed to go here, then you should know that the reason we go here is to make a base. Which means if they don't go there, you can attack them. When the opening's done, you can start attacking by taking the base. Here, you should know the move is Nobi. And if they don't, you can punish by cutting. Autopilot is how airplane pilots kill passengers. Not really. Honestly, autopilot's probably how people live more than anything else. But you know, autopilot is how groups die. Autopilot is worth 2, maybe 3 ranks if you stop autopiloting. Why can't you join the queue? I mean, it's a Twitch feature, so it should be possible. Block your base. Block your base. Okay, stay connected is good. Surround is good. That is technically a ladder, but don't do it. Technically, you're fine. Actually, student check. How do you capture the stone? Where do you go? Like where? What is it? Net, ladder, which direction, etc. D14. All right. Is it a ladder? B13. B13 is correct because it is a ladder to your stone. The outside is not correct because it'll put your stone into Atari. And then the question is, did you check before you played the Hane, a known cuttable shape? Did you check before you played the cuttable shape? Nope. I think there should be a rule. You have to submit your answer on if it's cuttable or not before you're allowed to play a Knight's Move or a Hane. Well, there's another cut. There's a cut. There's a cut. That is a ladder. There's a lot of cutting points. Wow, you are so lucky. Wow. Oh, sure. Just leave another cutting point. Because your opponent's like, here, let me fix all your cutting points. You're like, screw that noise. I need cuts in my life. Like, why? Why do you insist on leaving cutting points? Okay, attacking your opponent here is good. That is also a cuttable shape. That's why you have the sword. No, that's to cut your opponent. You don't use the sword to, like, no, that's not... Stop trying to make grilled cheese out of yourself, okay? Like, freaking cut your opponent. Yeah, this here, cut. You could also just take if you want. Or you could technically go here, here, and here for this round. But a Knight's Move is cuttable. This doesn't look like it's working out for you. You're stressing me out. First off, there's a cutting point. Second off, if you connect everything, you're not dead. 1.9 seconds. You're speed running a dead group. And it's not your opponent's. Whatever. No, you don't deserve an undo if you're intentionally playing a bad move fast. It has to be a genuine misclick. Otherwise, don't click it. Except that you make poor decisions, like leaving cutting points around. Here. Live. Actually, no, just live. Just live. Just be alive. Just not be dead. That is so much better than being dead. Like, what zombie enjoys their life? I don't know if you, know this. But there's a little bit of a problem with this move. I don't think your opponent's going to play here. I know that's what you want to happen. This is like next level optimism right here. Self-Atari for the snapback dream. Next level optimism. Maybe instead of dreaming about being a strong Go player, you should actually just play good moves. Don't self-Atari. Just connect things. I think the big thing is the cutting points, but playing self-Ataris in 1 second or 2 seconds probably is holding you back just a little bit. I want to say the cutting points is the big issue, and then playing too fast. That is my observation from this game for you to do with what you will. Be it to learn from it, ignore it, whatever. I don't know. I feel like some students just like getting yelled at and then never actually use the things that I tell them. All right, next is Mac Daddy. Are you Mac Paul or Mac Grant? Yeah, hopefully you enjoyed the review and found it helpful. Oh, thank you for the gift sub.
G_McDaddy gifted 1 subscriptions to the community.
Mac Grant. Okay, AI, you gotta go away. I can't see the board properly if you're freaking... Wow. Okay. With the lesson. Okay, I need you to... I'll give you a calendar link. Set an appointment, because I have lunch with brother after this. But I'm going... Actually, message me on Discord so I can give you the link. Whatever. Whatever. I'll message you on Twitch. Can I do that here? Whisper! Not that everyone can't see it. Whisper... I can't whisper. Cool. Whatever. Message me on Discord so I can give you the link. And you can set an appointment. Yeah, I still have several slots. Clossius. Do you even need to ask? Crap, am I booked all next week? No, I have Wednesday slots. Okay, I think the only time left is Wednesday. Because I already promised Amaranth's Thursday. And I guess there's 1 slot tomorrow. No, it has to be 3 days in advance. Because I also need to do an hour of open reviews after Buzzsaw's lesson. It looks like Wednesday or in 2 weeks. Cool. Yeah, sounds good. Try to like play not blitz games. And you know, watch your cutting points, and then try to use the stuff that I have out for you for free, and then bring me those so you can see what else you're missing. You can also bring IRL games, that's fine too. Just bring the SGF record. I'm sorry, what? Sure. Complicated Josekis. What could go wrong? Ooh. Gotta live. Honestly, this is a great move to study for our tournament. Like, I usually tell like my Go Club members, if you're gonna go to a tournament, learn one abnormal Joseki that you get to start. Like, take a common pattern, find a move that is your decision, find a complex way to play it, and then study that one to have it prepared, a complex Joseki prepared for a tournament that you know and your opponent hopefully won't know. So I think a move like White's move right here is a great tournament weapon. Oh, is this played IRL? I know a couple Pauls. Is this like North Carolina Paul? Okay. So let's take this step by step. Can you capture the cutting stone? Ba-dum, ba-dum, ba-dum. Dum, dum, dum. But then dum, dum. Oh, you're supposed to extend. I was thinking here, here, here. That is definitely a mistake. You extend, they extend. Yeah, totally a 6Q move. Ah, nope, don't know him. Totally a 6Q move. Okay. Well, we don't know the AI's plan, right? So I think there's a pretty easy out whenever you don't know a Joseki. Don't die. That is the easy out. What is the don't die move? Here, 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 here. Ta-da! You're not dead. I think that's the best you can hope for if you don't know the Joseki. Don't force a pattern. If you don't know it, you don't know it. Just revert to fundamentals. Not dying is a very great way to not be dead. And if you try to play a Joseki without knowing it, it's a good way to die. Like that. See? Dead group. This idea, this concept or learning moment is if you don't know what to do, just make life. Instead of trying to like come up with a plan when you can't read it, you don't understand it. Try to read it, do what you can, but if like nothing obvious is happening, then just make life. That's the worst thing. If you make life, the worst thing that'll happen is you lose like 2 points, maybe 3. I thought I did, but I guess I didn't. Yeah, just make life is going to be the big key here. So here, boop, not dead. Don't invest on these yet. You're still in the opening. Oh, wait, no. There's this move. No, because you're dead. Never mind. I just said that. Whatever. Just play a big move. Whatever. Just play a big move. Who cares? Just move on. You're down by what? 5 points? Maybe 10? But if you get another weak group, you're going to be losing by even more. Just, like, move on. None of this is important. There's 2 open sides right now. Just Tanuki. Both players are like only playing in this corner for the like 2-point moves. Fighting over pennies. That's a double co. I guess if you didn't know that, then okay, that's fine. Squeezing your opponent if you don't know that there's a double. Okay, it's fine. It's fine. Maybe I'm just wrong. I might just be wrong. Okay, sorry. Sorry. If you didn't know it, maybe it's a lot more reasonable. I'm sorry. I might have assumed that was obvious. That is completely my bad. I still think, Tanuki, you can squeeze this later. These are all co-threats. Like, if you're not going to save it, this is a lot of co-threats. Just finish the opening. Oh, see, they did find it. Okay. They did find it. Yeah, just finish the opening. Open sides. You're not down by that much. Let's see, this is 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 23. You have 5, 10, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. 19 to 23, we'll say 24, 25, 26, plus Comey. 32 and a half. So we'll say 10 to 11 points maybe, as a rough guess. It's not unplayable. Especially with this much open board to make a comeback. There's like several key moments that I think you can aim for. If you're good at the end game, like this is a great way to like rank up, is just having a couple points where you're going to gain a rank. So if you're good at the end game, you can probably gain 10 points in your opponent. That's a rank right there. Right? That if your rank is your win percentage against a certain level, and you're better at end game than that level, and the end game happens, let's say a third of the time, you can gain 10 points a third of the time, a third of your games. That should increase your win percentage almost enough that you rank up. So 10 points in the end game. There's probably a couple key moves, chance moves in the second half of middle game between move 70 or maybe 60, but like 70 to like 130. There's a lot of chance moves if you are paying attention. A lot of single-digit Q habits that I usually try to like beat into my students is between move 70 and like 140, your brain likes to shut off and autopilot. Because the big stuff, you've already been using your brain so much in the first half of middle game, trying to read, and finally a fight has finished. And when the fight finishes, you're like, okay, now I can calm down. And as soon as like that shift happens, your brain starts shutting off and autopiloting. So between move 70 and 130, the quality of the game drops. Right? The quality of the game drops in the second half of middle game. Because it's not stupid brain. Brain is really smarter than you because the brain autopilots in order to keep you alive, right? It breathes without you thinking. It pumps blood without you thinking. It does a lot of things without you having to be conscious, because if you were conscious, you'd be dead. There's no way you can keep up with everything, right? So our brains are wired to autopilot. Our brains are not wired to play Go. So we have to combat it in order to do what we want to do. Our brain's like, no, I want to keep you alive. And you're like, no, I want to play Go. Screw living. I want to play this board game. So you have to fight against your brain, which loves to autopilot things. And so once we get into the second half, we start getting consciously tired, which is mental stamina, and our brain starts trying to take back over and autopilot the second half of the game so it can finish thinking. It wants to be done thinking. It wants to autopilot things. It doesn't want to think. Right? So as soon as like you relax, your brain tries to take over an autopilot. So between move 70 and 130, you have to double down your focus. But if you can, there's a lot of chance moves between move 70 and 130. A lot. And if you can find a chance move between there, you can probably gain another 10 plus points. Sometimes it'll just win you the game. But a lot of times you can gain another 10 points in the second half. So if you're only down 10 points, there's at least 2 more opportunities at minimum that you have the chance of catching. There might be more. Maybe you can like fight and your opponent makes a mistake, you catch it. There might be more, right? There's a lot of moves left. But at least 2 areas you can specifically target to gain another 10 points. And that's probably 2 ranks worth of focus. If you can like build those 2 areas of your skill where you don't lose focus in the second half and you also like have a decent end game, that's 2 ranks right there. Like if you're like very disciplined. Now, obviously there's more to go than just that, but if you can like try to like reduce the chances of you making a mistake in the second half versus your opponent catching a mistake, because If your opponent's giving you an opportunity, you're likely giving them an opportunity too. So it's who can keep focused longer. But yeah, if you do game reviews or whatever, look at the second half. And don't be too hard on yourself. Like, everyone's quality drops a little bit because your brain gets tired. But there's a significant drop in quality in the second half of the game versus the first half of the game. Now, that doesn't mean you're like doing anything bad, but it does mean there's a lot of opportunities to gain control of the game. There's a lot of opportunities in the second half. So if you're only down by 10 points, I would say target those two areas. Like, don't be like super tunnel visioned on a dead group. So this one feels like yeah. That's funny. This one to me feels like you're trying to stop white from having something because you feel behind. That never works. Like, you can't just magically prevent your opponent from having something. You just have to like play the next thing to do. There is no magic gain 10 points back move, because if there was, we would already be playing it. So you have to just keep playing the basics as long as you can, and then wait for an opportunity. There is no magic make up this mistake move. It just doesn't exist. You have to just keep playing the basics and keep an eye out for an opportunity, and then try to like not make another mistake. All right, that's kind of the key. So make sure you don't like panic after a mistake. Ooh, I love this Joseki. Like, this is one of my Josekis that I played quite a lot before AI. And so I don't see it anymore, which is unfortunate. Nice. I'm really tempted to consider this, but it's very complicated. But I don't dislike your idea here. That one's small. Don't need that one. Your target is this area. And also this move. This is an interesting idea. If they want the territory, you're going to have control of a massive amount of the board. This is not cash, but you're going to have a ton of control, which is a little scary to give your opponent this much cash. But if you're losing anyway, why not set up a massive attack? Likely your opponent will be too afraid of that, so they'll go in, and then you'll be able to pull the stone out later at a good timing. That is the meaning of my move. If I wasn't worried about the stone, I'd probably just like jump or make a base or something. It's an idea. It is not like the best move. I'm just coming up with an idea. Basics wise, this is good, but I don't like how big this corner is. Like, I might even play a 3-3. This is a pretty big corner. If they high approach, go here. High approach is a mistake. The corner's too massive. This is way too big for... Did I just two space? What? Oh, I hate this Joseki. It's so off. This corner's way too big. This is really hard judgment to build, but there's such a thing as too much cash. And if you give them too much cash, then it's really difficult to balance. But the judgment of when is it too much versus the big move, when is this cash bigger than the big move, is a very difficult judgment call. I would say if the position's 20 points or greater and you can't immediately make 20 points in cash, not influence, but cash, maybe just stop it. But it's a very difficult judgment call. Here, though, like, just make the cash. Heck yeah. Dude, look how much the points that is, because this dies. Oh my gosh, I hate the high approach to the star point. It's like, never play it. Ever, ever, ever. Never play it. 99% of the time it's bad. And that 1% doesn't make that big of a difference. So you can literally get away with never playing this move and you'll be fine. I'm actually curious. PS.wall theory. All right, we want round stones. Boom, boom. How many pro games? 1.6 thousand games out of 82,000 games. Low percentage. White. It's a little bit more in black's favor, I guess, according to the graphs. I think if I'm reading it correctly. It looks like the one space jump is the best. Just get the corner. Okay, so I guess instead of doing that, just go here, and then you're looking at this pattern, I guess, according to the database. %45 is 1. 8% is 2. So like 50% is these two moves, with almost 50% being 1. Yeah. So if you want to do research on it, you can. Sometimes it's fun to just learn stuff, even if you're not going to play it. But I would say like high approach. Your opponent did it, not you, but just know that you can gain a lot of cash. I would never high approach. Like I don't think there's no good enough reason for amateurs to ever high approach. Cut. Punch him in the face. Like, you have a samurai sword, and your opponent has just bent over sideways, not with the butt towards you, but like literally at an L to give you that perfect target, and they're like, please cut me. And you're like, no, I'm going to dodge. I don't know what you're doing. I'm going to dodge out of the way. No, freaking cut him in half. Kind of a bad ninja doesn't cut things. Here. Okay, so you're alive. Yep. Good. Probably now is a good timing because there's not really a lot more cash, right? No, I'm wrong. Ignore me. Boom, boom, and then freaking boom. I don't know. Maybe boom is easier. Yeah, freaking profit. I love attacking stuff. Kick. Yep. Cap. No, the response is cap. If they do this, you play diagonal, and it's a really beautiful surround. So they have to go here, and you just cap. Nice move. Might be a little optimistic to cut this one, so maybe just leave it as Aji. Nice move. That one's not cuttable. Sucks. Freaking ladder. Freaking net. Whatever. Good. Punish. Surround. I love it. I love it. I love it. Don't love it. You have a cutting point, right?
Nice moves are cuttable.
You go here, they cut, right? So what about just don't get cut? I don't know, maybe because you're getting some eye space. I really want to surround this group. I would be doing whatever I could to surround this group. Surrounding things is amazing. Okay. Your shape is good. Shape knowledge is good. You couldn't contain him. Oh! What? freaking escape. Whatever. Okay, so they die. Run away while taking liberties is a little bit more effective. No, this one's a bad Atari. Because this literally is killing these 4 stones. Because you're not going to save them, right? You don't have time to save them. No, maybe here. So don't let them just die. It's a cutting stone. Cutting stones are big. Yeah, I don't think either player is like taking the life and death of this group as seriously as they should. Like, I don't think anything else matters on this board. If this dies, black wins. So just win the game. If that's all you need to do to win the game, then just do it. All of this is irrelevant if that dies. Yeah. But your opponent also is not living. None of this matters. There we go. That doesn't matter. There you go. Yeah, yeah. Good punish. Good punish. I would read. It's the answer. I don't think this is. I don't think this is the move though, because that cutting point is probably not an issue. Okay, they resigned. Why didn't they try to like do anything? I don't know. I would go a couple more moves before resigning, I think. Yeah. Okay, it's good that you killed it. I think you got distracted a little bit over here. Yeah, good surround. I think your shape mostly was good. There were several chances you gave white to break out. So don't be so like don't be too quick to take the eyes when they're not surrounded. Surrounding is important. Even if they live, the surround is very profitable. But if you try to kill and they escape, then you don't really get anything for profit. Now, if they die, great, cool. But if you can't read that all in advance, then it's too risky. All right, we have time for one more. So who's next? Okay, any on-stream lesson, just message me. I'm supposed to cut them all. Oh, no one's in the queue. Okay, I can do one more review or Q&As. Let's just do Q&As because no one's in the queue. So let's do Q&As. Concept questions. Anything I can elaborate on? Any questions you have? Oh, and shout out to my lessons. If you want lessons, you can do so here. I do teach Go for a living, so it helps me out. And also, Sumego Dragon. If you want to do Go problems separated by categories, guess what? Sumego Dragon is currently under development. It is separating Go problems by category. So you have Corner Life and Death, which also includes J Group. So the 3-3 Life and Death problems. You have double Ataris. Let me actually open this all. Because you can limit it by level. That's what I was doing. Nets, ladders are fantastic for dealing with cutting stones. There's a shape category. That one's a little difficult to comprehend. They exist, but I don't know how helpful they are. Oh, hey, look. Corner Life and Death problems. There's 87 3-3 Life and Death problems. There you go. SumegoDragon.com. And then click Corner Life and Death. There you go. How to count quickly in the middle game. Do it a lot. Learn what shapes are 5s and learn what shapes are 10s. So you can count by 5s and 10s and 2s. Thickness, just consider 2 points at a time. Don't count influence. That's unrealistic, and misleading. Just count actual cash. A star point alone, I think, is 3 points by itself. A star point with the Knight's move, I consider it 5 points. Maybe 7. But in order to make myself remember it, if I add up all the score and it's like 47, I'll probably just round it to 45 or 50 just to make it easy to remember. And just keep my, I'm going to remember in my brain that it's just with plus or minus like 3. I'll just be like, okay, it's like 50 points around there. Look at the center squares. Build something. So a lot of times, once the opening is done, first off, try to attack things and aim for the cutting points. Like, just cut things is amazing for the middle game. Just cut stuff. But aside from that, if there's no weak groups without a base, if there's no cutting points, then just try to establish control of the center or prevent control of the center. Making the center Dame is also acceptable, and just rely on your endgame. But typically you want to try to get control of those center 4 squares by building into it. Don't just play in it, but build up. Lean on something and build up, or build a position up. Or you can do the opposite and reduce your opponent's position down with like shoulder hits and caps. The idea is you want to establish control of those 4 center squares, and you don't really want to aim for territory because it's more important to get control so you can have the advantage in the fights, which is where the exchange rates are. If you make territory and they make territory, nothing really happens. Fuseki, I think as you understand the fundamentals of open corners, open sides, and then the very basic Josekis, then I think it's fine to get to Dawn level. So I don't think it's like the most important. It's helpful, but it's not like gonna win or lose you games. It'll make the middle game easier, but it won't win you the game, if that makes sense. I will say though, it is very fun to learn opening history. Like throughout history, there's a lot of like opening change. I've always found that very fun to learn about. Play the same opening every game though. Like, don't change your opening every single game. That makes your game really difficult to comprehend. Play the same opening for 50 games, and then maybe change one move, and then play it another 50 games, and then change one move, and then change another 50 games. So like double star, 50. Then I'll be a star and a 3/4, 50. Star and a Shamari, 50. Maybe star and a Shamari and 3/4, 50. Right? That way you get to like learn while you're playing it. Don't just go random. Random means you'll never actually learn the opening, probably. This beginner Joseki video is basically all the Josekis I think you need to know for Q level. Let's see. Do you think using the range of 45 to 50 works? I don't know what you mean by that.
Mind Sport Glasses just followed.
Oh, thank you for the follow. A good number to aim for is 60 points in cash without losing complete control of the center. If you can get 30 points in the first half of middle game and 30 points in the second half of middle game, actually no, 30, 20, 10. 30 points in like the first half, 20 points-ish in the second half, so you'll be at 50, and in the end game, try to gain another 10. If you can do 30, 20, 10, it's a pretty reliable territory balance. Just don't lose control of the center while you're... don't tunnel vision on it and let your opponent have the rest of the board. But usually those are good numbers to aim for. Do the difficulty levels in Sumego Dragon correspond to Q and Dawn ranks? No, and this is intentional. Because you might understand nets or squeeze the Sujis really well, but maybe you don't understand co-problems. Or, more obviously, maybe you're good at life and death, but very bad at co-problems. So if you translate it to ranks and you're saying, oh, I'm like, let's say 5Q at like life and death, but you're 15Q at co, you're going to be like, no, this is not my level, or I'm going to feel bad about it. Or I've seen the opposite case where you're like a Dawn level at freaking Ko's or Snapbacks or something, but then they're like 10Q level at Life and Death, but they think they're Dawn level at Go Problems. You're just really good at one category, maybe not another. So don't associate Q ranks with it. Associate the difficulty level of that category. Maybe you're at a certain difficulty on Capture Race, and maybe you're a lower difficulty on Connecting, then work on Connecting, right? Work on whichever one you're struggling with. And don't let that be any relative to your skill, because that's a different measurement. So don't let this affect you, and don't compare it to Q ranks, because it's very relative to the category. I would just say like work your way up certain categories. Now, obviously, once you get strong enough, certain difficulties will just be like too easy, and certain ones will be too hard. That is true. But I don't want that to be a priority. I want you to focus on just learning whatever you're struggling with and not worry about what level it is. So I intentionally hide the Q ranks in order for you to just learn what you need to learn and not worry about what's your level or what's not your level. If it's difficult for you, learn that, basically. Sure. Herb, whatever works for you, as long as you can remember the numbers with some sort of accuracy, it's okay. Source of direction of play. I've not gotten a good one yet. Shape is kind of that. Opening basics is kind of what I'm trying to come up with in order to learn that. So if you're going to do direction of play, that would be opening basics. Let me go to like level 2. Like here, some opening basics, but honestly, these problems are not perfect. They're not to my satisfaction yet. So this category is not, I'm not satisfied with this yet. I want to improve it more. But I do have a Joseki category, which I very much like. The Joseki category is make, this is flip-flop. Yeah, so make this pattern down here. It got flip-flopped somehow because coding is hard. And you're trying to make the pattern that you see up here. And then it goes, so like here, you're like, okay, how do you get to this Joseki? Bum, 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 bum. And you just keep leveling it up. Now, how do you make this pattern? Da, 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 da. So if you want to work on Josekis, I really like this category. I came up with this idea like in the car one day, and then I spent like a couple hours making this. I do want to add to this. Unfortunately, I have to like do a lot of coding, so maybe I think I'm going to work a lot more on the coding, and I'm going to try to build a feature where other people can add Go problems. Actually, people can add Go problems. They just have to be approved. And I'm going to make it so people can approve Go problems and add variations and branches. But this is a category I really want to add to, but I need to like prioritize actually coding the website, which is unfortunate. I have some flying knife in here, though. There's some flying knife stuff. Yeah, do that one. Do that one. It's easy, right? You know that, Joseki. Everyone knows that, Joseki. You tell me you don't know that problem? Yeah, this I think is a really fun category. I really like this one. I haven't seen anywhere else that has this one. I heard from Buzzsaw, I think, that Internet Go School has some of these. But I really like these categories. I'm very proud of my little idea that I had in the car when we were driving one day. But yeah, so it starts off really simple. Just approach the corner, right? And then it goes to level 2. Your starter Josekis. Make a base, and then kick Novi, right? I'm pretty sure I tried to put every Joseki that I had in the Joseki video I linked. Yeah. Learning your basic 3-3 invasions, and then I put the simple 3-3 invasions at the lower levels. So the simple ones, so you can learn the starter ones in order, and then as the difficulty of the Joseki increases as the level increases. So that's what I tried to do with it, right? And the idea is like you learn patterns and not just only the 5 Josekis you play ever, and you don't ever do anything else. But it gives you more options. That's the idea. You just have more options to work with. So I don't have a solution for directional play yet. I haven't come up with anything yet, but I do have corner patterns, which I very much like the corner patterns. But yeah, the opening basics are too difficult. It's too difficult because there's too many correct answers, which is the biggest issue, right? Like even in this one, like I'm pretty sure that here is a pattern, but that was like from hundreds of years ago, and it's not even true nowadays. It's not even like true anymore. Like you could pincer, you could completely tanuki, you could 3-3, you could 3-3. It's just not a good category, and I don't have another idea for it yet. But that is direction of play, the opening basics that I want to add at some point. Just not sure how to do it yet. Shape. People love it and hate it. It's a love-hate relationship. It's like put your opponent in bad shape or make yourself have good shape. But it gets really confusing really fast. Because if you don't know it, you just don't know it. And then you have to look at the answer. So my advice for this category is try to figure it out. And if you don't, just look at the answer. And then try to remember the answer for next time. And try to understand like why it's the answer, right? Because once you get to a certain point, if you don't know it, you don't know it. And it doesn't mean like your reading is bad. It's just the shape you haven't seen before a lot of the times. So if you don't know it, you don't know it, right? So you have to learn it by looking at the answer. Oops. I forgot to Atari. Yeah, if you don't know it, you don't know it. It's okay. Sometimes just look at the answer, and then a week later, try it again. Look at the answers, then try it again. That's a good way to go through every category, honestly. Like, let's say you're working on difficulty 3, and you are going through snapbacks, okay? Do the difficulty 3 snapbacks, and then come back in a week. And do them again. And then come back in a week and do them again. If you make a mistake in a game with a snapback, do them again. And then just keep revisiting it after you give yourself time to forget, because eventually it'll just be a staple in your brain. And if you're trying to get good at the middle game, I pretty much tell my students to never stop doing nets and ladders. Like 2 Qs mess up nets and ladders. And they're so important for capturing cutting stones. So I would never stop doing these. And I want to encourage you to do like 100 a day. Don't worry about doing the super hard ones. The best way to use this website is to do easy problems a lot. Now, not stupid easy, not like 1 second answers, right? Try to do problems that take you, let's say, 5 to 30 seconds. 5 seconds to 30 seconds. Okay, and just do a lot of them. A lot. Like 100 to 200 a day. If you do that for an entire year, your reading will be amazing. Dawn reading is perfect double-digit Q shapes. That's it. Don't worry about like fancy Tsujis or whatever. Learn what a ko looks like. Learn what a snapback looks like. Never miss a snapback. Never miss a net. Never miss a ladder. 100%. Never miss a basic connection. Like you'll never miss this one, right? You'd hope. Never miss that one, right? And then you just take it to the next level. Like, what's one you'll never miss? Like a connection to Tsuji. And you get it to the point where you never miss it, like monkey jump connections. If you do it over and over and over and over and over, these will become second nature, and then you'll just always see it in your game. In the game, you can focus on the strategies or whatever, and all the patterns will just be in your head. You'll be able to instant notice patterns. And I think that's the best way to use Go problems. It's just learn the patterns and just recognize them instantly. So yeah, Dawn level reading is just perfect double-digit Q reading. Double-digit Q shapes. All right, so I think we'll go ahead and wrap it up here. Hopefully everyone has found today helpful, educational, and encouraging. let's go ahead and raid. That one's in German. That's Dallin. Jerk beat me a couple months ago in a game, but whatever. Can raid him. So yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed the stream, and I will... Oh, Mr. Past. All right. That's fine. Yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed the stream, and I will see you guys next time.